In this lecture, we will show how to read and write JSON data from Pandas. JSON data, called JavaScript Object Notation, has become one of the most common standard formats, especially for the transmission of data on the web. JSON is an open standard file format and data interchange format that uses human-readable text to store and transmit data objects consisting of attribute value pairs and arrays or other serializable values, although they look quite similar in the format. However, because Python is not JavaScript, and JSON data and a Python dictionary are two completely different things. A JSON object contains data in the form of key-value pairs. The keys are strings and the values are JSON types. So keys and values are separated by colon. Each entry key-value pair is separated by comma, and the curly brace represents the JSON object, and the square bracket represents the JSON array. A JSON array can have values and objects. So example of JSON array have values like a Python array, but this is a JSON array. Only values in the brackets. And this example is for the JSON object. You can see object array inside the bracket. There are two objects. For each object, their name, email, keys, and RAM gmail.com and the values correspondingly. So let's see, write a data frame to a JSON file. So let's begin with the more useful case, such as when you have a data frame and you need to convert it into a JSON file. So define a data frame and then call two JSON functions on it, passing an argument, the name of the file that you want to create. So here we create data frame with 4 columns variables and with 4 rows. This is the index for the rows, and the value is 0 to 15. Then we call frame.toJSON, frame.json. Then this file will be created in the working directory. If we open this file, it will like in the brace. This is a big object, a whole object, and in this object there are 4 first level key, up, down, left, right, and this actually is the column variable of the data frame. Then the value of each first level key actually is another object, and for this object there are also 4 keys with its value, and this inside keys actually is the data frame's index variables. So if we read a JSON file, just use the read JSON with the name of the file passed as an argument. So we read back this JSON file to a data frame. Just write pd.readJSON and the file in the working directory. Then it is actually exactly the same data frame we created before we have saved to the file. And here we will talk normalizing and reading a JSON file. The example you have seen is a fairly simple case in which the JSON data were in tabular form, since the file frame.json comes from a data frame. But generally, the JSON files do not have a tabular structure, thus you will need to somehow convert the structured dict file into a tabular form. This process is called normalization. The library Pandas provides a function called JSON normalize, such as able to convert a dict to a list in a table. So first you have to import the function. So from pandas.io JSON import JSON normalize. Then you write a JSON file books JSON and save it in the working directory. So this is the books JSON file. We'll see inside the bracket there are two objects within the brace. So for each object, their first level key called writer, nationality, books, and for the writer nationality is a simple value, and for the books, the value is another JSON array. So you can see for each books in object, there are 3 books, and for these 3 books, the object contains 2 keys with title and price and their corresponding value. So as you can see, the file structure is no longer tabular, but more complex. Then the approach with the read.json function is no longer valid if the file has not been normalized. So first you have to load the contents of the JSON file and convert it into a string. So we have to write this statement to open this file, the reader mode, then read this file to the text. Then we use JSON's module to load this text. So now you are ready to apply the JSON normalize function from a quick look at the contents of the data within the JSON file. For example, you might want to extract a table that contains all the books. So if we want to extract the information of the books only, so we can write pd.json normalize text. This is the past string variable. Then we put the keys here, books. So the resulting data frame will like this: 6 books and their title, their price, 2-column variable. Whenever you get a data frame containing only some internal information, it would be useful to add the values of other keys on the same level. In this case, you can add other columns by inserting a key list as the third argument of the function. So here we want to add the right and nationality information also. So we can write pd.json normalize text, then books is the key, then add an array for these 2 variables. Then the result will be a data frame with 4 columns. These 2 columns are the information inside the books, and these 2 columns for the writer nationality are at the same level with the books. Then JSON normalizer will take out this information and put this resulting data frame as 2 columns. We will show out this statement in Anaconda Spider. So we see the file called section 12 reading writing pandas.py, and the link to this file will be put in the description of this video. So we see the lecture 7 reading and writing JSON data with pandas. So first we have import library and set the working directory. Then create a data frame called frame. Four columns, 4 rows. Then we write to a JSON file in the working directory. Then we open this. The file is there, called frame. Then we open with text pad along an object with up, down, right, left at the first level keys. Then the value is another object with 4 keys with the color and their value. Then we can also read back this JSON file with pd.readJSON. Then the result is its original data frame. And next we will show normalize. First I have to import this library. And we have to pass this file books JSON, because this file books is not normalized file, not a perfect tabular text file. So we have to pass this file, read into string using JSON first. Then we can normalize and read this file to a data frame, but this time we only get information for the books. So the result is a data frame with 2 columns, and these 2 columns variable title, price are exactly inside the books, keys, title, price. And if we want to get more information, for example, add the writer and nationality, we have to put an array in this statement. Then the result will be a data frame with 4 columns, and the first 2 columns are same as before: title, price, information for the book, then writer and nationality. If we see the JSON file is at the same level with the books. So this is normalized reading a JSON file.